Okay, just one more speaker to go, and that's Tony Kreft. Okay, sorry, two more.
All right, good to see a lot of people that I know from the 70s. Some decisions change your life, and you make them not rationally. I'm standing up here as an example of that. I started out at Michigan State graduate school, and I'm from Michigan. I had a girlfriend in Michigan. I wanted to stay in Michigan. I went to the University of Michigan. Michigan State was like our enemy, but you know, my girlfriend was more important than that. So anyways, I'm in Michigan State, and they had this chart on the wall of academic genealogy, as Peter Bernstein would call pedigree. What's your pedigree? And it turns out a lot of the professors at Michigan State at the time were Columbia PhDs. There was Peter Wagner was there. He was a doctoral PhD. Bill Roosh was there. He was a historic PhD. And there was this little-known assistant professor that I worked for called Robert Grubbs. You may have heard of him now. But anyways, I was sort of coasting through Michigan State, and you know, it wasn't as much of a challenge as I'd want. And I thought, Jesus, why not go to the place where these guys came from, you know? And then a book came into my life that changed it again, Art of Organic Synthesis. And it was a very novel book. And I was paging through it, and who's this guy Stork? There's all these references. I mean, he's like, you know, and he's from Columbia. So, broke up with my girlfriend, and I said, well, why stay in Michigan? So I said, let me transfer to Columbia, see what this is all about. I mean, the best professor I ever had at Michigan was another Columbia PhD called Jay Groves, who now is at Princeton, but you know, he was the best teacher I ever had. And so I transferred to Columbia in the fall of '71. And you know, I was cruising through Michigan State, so I didn't expect a lot of trouble. And I took Gilbert's graduate organic course, and it was kind of unorthodox. He would, you know, you'd get up at the blackboard and start drawing stuff without any references, and then he would come back the next day or so, or 2 days later, and leave off at the same point. Amazing memory. Anyways, he gave his first exam, and I thought I did all right. And he made an announcement after the exam. He'd like to see a small group of people in his office, and I was among them. And I thought, Jesus, he probably wants me to work for him because I did so great on that exam. Well, it turns out I flunked the exam along with these two other people. And he was concerned, obviously. And I said, well, you know, that's too bad I flunked your exam because I really wanted to work for you. And he kind of fell off his chair because Gilbert was used to making outrageous statements, not really hearing them. And so, as you all know. And so I said, well, you know, he said, okay, look, if you want to work for me, you got to do well in this course. I'm going to tutor you one-on-one, 1 hour a week. And I thought, you know, this is extraordinary. Here's this guy with a group of 25 or 30 people, and he could have fobbed me off on some postdoc, which is what most professors would have done. And, you know, the master of synthesis was giving an hour of his time each week. And needless to say, I subsequently passed the course. And ironically, he asked me to teach a couple of his undergraduate synthesis courses a few years later when I was a graduate student for him. So that just shows what kind of person he was. Because I subsequently went to Stanford as a postdoc, and I didn't find that kind of teaching generosity and time that he spent. I mean, he was available at all times. If I had a problem, he would give me 5 solutions. The problem was, I didn't know which one of the 5 to try, and you know, sometimes that's why it took longer to get your PhD. Then you wised up and said, well, this is probably the best one of the 5. I don't have to try all 5. So he was a great mentor, and I wouldn't be standing here today if he wasn't. And I also met a second mentor, my lifetime mentor, my wife, Margaret Doyle. Why don't you stand up? She was Professor Stork's secretary in the 70s. A lot of you know her. And she also worked for Francis Hoffman. I guess I should say she was an administrative assistant these days, right? I can't say secretary anymore. But she was basically working there to get her tuition for her master's in special education. So you know, that sort of irrational decision, you know, I ended up with a fantastic mentor and a wife. I can't explain it.